Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. We're back with your match reaction video. Spurs 2, Manchester United 0. Absolute garbage out Manchester United. Embarrassing second half performance. And we're doing our match reaction fan forum. We've got the usual guys in. We've got Ben, Chris, and Oisín. Good to see you guys. The floor is yours. Who wants to start?
What do you say?
We just all hug each other and cry for a minute first, and then get into it. It was emotional, man. It was horrible. It was. I don't think there's enough words to describe exactly how I'm feeling right now in the negative, because it's just after Monday night, you think these players have something to prove and want to go out and put on a show for the fans. We had a great 25 minutes in the first half, and then it just went to absolute muck. The changes, look, not holding back here. I think Ten Hag was too slow with the changes. Changes should be made at half time. Yeah. The changes he made was wrong. Mount should have gone out to the right, left Bruno in the middle. Leaving Rashford up top on his own for 90 minutes again this weekend. It's criminal, because he's no good up there. He just, as we said last night, he can't play with his back to goal. He has to be running onto it. It's just shambles.
I agree with a lot of what Oisín said. Is that we have no identity when it goes forward. We don't have an identity period at this moment. I mean, you have Antony that doesn't. I mean, he should go to the bench. Mount should go to the bench. I mean, I saw Mount track back a little bit, but I never really saw him do anything with the ball at all. Like, I don't know what he was doing, and I saw him a lot of times throwing his hands up, and that's not good. And I honestly think that Rashford needs to go off to the left and see if he can regain form at this point, and then hopefully Højlund can play at least 45 minutes against Forest. That's what I heard, that he would maybe be able to be a sub then, but it's not going to do any. It's not going to do any good. I mean, Garnacho was poor. I mean, again, Antony was poor. Garnacho was poor. Rashford was poor. Bruno and Rashford both missed sitters at that point. I mean, we should have been 2-0 at halftime, and then I think Onana is the only player that's playing well.
The last two games, Onana's been best player, hasn't he?
Yeah. Say that again, Ben.
Onana's been the best player last two games. That says it all, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, it's the same as last season, though, isn't it? We don't get one player playing bad. If one's bad, they're all bad. If one's top class, they're all top class.
What do you put that down to? I can't. I don't know what to put that down to.
Don't know. There's got to be something going off in background that we don't know about, surely, if you like that.
Yeah.
The last week for the club has been just shocking with all the news coming out. Is that affecting the players? Should that affect the players? No. But is it? I mean, whatever with Greenwood, with the Glazers, Maguire being a bollocks and not wanting to leave, it has to be affecting them somehow. But to be this bad, I mean, take the goal away from last Monday night. We were lucky to get away with a win last Monday night. The luck ran out today. Penalty, VAR, call it what you want. These things balance out over a season. But we shouldn't be relying on VAR calls. We're Man United. We shouldn't be relying. We should be going out and putting Spurs to the sword. Roy Keane said it. They're only Spurs. If we had someone with half of Roy Keane's intensity today, we'd have been laughing. And I feel sorry. Chris said, we said him on the night, I feel sorry for Casemiro. He's getting a lot of roasting and seeing on social media and stuff. He's lost the yard of pace. He's 31 years of age now, is he?
Yeah.
He's getting nothing. And Chris, you pointed out rightly on Monday night, he's getting no support from anyone. Mount and Bruno go left and right, and he's on his own. And he's got that wave coming against him. I don't know.
If you watch and I said it in the chat, if you watch we get the ball, we progress the ball forward, and then everybody stops. Everybody sets it, puts up a tent, in their little spot or on the 18-yard
This
line.
has been ongoing though, Chris. This issue of getting into the final third has been ongoing since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the fucking manager. You know what I mean? I mean, is it something that's ingrained within the players that are there, or because it's a different team? You know what I mean?
And that's my problem is that I don't, and I agree with you, Jack. I don't know what the problem is because, like, I mean, there was a time in the first half, Bruno got the ball on the 18 and he plays this little lob ball back to the far post to Garnacho. Like, why don't you take a touch and put one on net? Like, shoot. You're not going to score if you don't shoot. And, you know, I'm sorry, Garnacho's not maybe 1 out of 5. He's going to head the ball. You know, I mean, he's going to score on a header. That's not what he's good at. You know, I mean, it's like we want to go around and around and around and around, and maybe someone will fall down and then we can get a pass in or something. It's just, there's no creativity. I don't know what the problem is. Like, it's just nobody makes a run. Everybody just goes, and it's like, okay, what's everybody going to do? Mm-hmm. Like, and I don't understand it. And it's frustrating because you just sit back and you watch and it's like, okay, we got the ball on the attacking third, but now we got nothing.
If like, this sounds very kind of as if I'm pinpointing out Marcus Rashford here, but I think he's a big cause here, and I don't think it's his fault because he's playing in an area that he's not good at playing in. Let's call it. You know, when Martial came on, even though the game was dead and buried, he made 2 or 3 really smart runs. And when he does come in and link up the little 1-2s, the little flick balls off, he does them quite effectively. Mm-hmm. I mean, like you said, it's Chris at the start of the season and pre-season, you know, maybe Sancho playing as a false 9 or whatever it may be, just to get Rashford back out on that left-hand side. But I think a lot of the issue with the fact when we're getting into the final third, where the fuck is Rashford? Where is he? You know what I mean? He's over there. He's back here. He's fucking dropped in there. You know, rather than being, I suppose, I think you get a lot more freedom when you play on the wings. You know what I mean? And when you're playing in that kind of central role, the pinpoint of the focal point of your attack, you have to be very regimented and smart about what you do, you know, and I don't think he's doing that.
I think he still plays like he plays out on the wing because he sits on the back shoulder of a defender waiting for a through ball. You know, that's what he waits for. I mean, and it's not there. And, you know, there's no diagonal run. Like I said last week, there's no diagonal run just to take a player away from the goal. Like, sometimes you run, you don't have to get the ball, but if you make a run, someone's going to follow you. And if not, then that's their fault. Like, it's, you know, but you got to make the run and you got to open up space for people. And it's like, everybody's just looking at each other going, who's going to do it? Is it your turn? Is it my turn? There's no, like, you know, no leadership. I'm sorry, Bruno. As much as I like you, someone's got to stand, like I said in the chat right before it. This week, they're all going to look at each other and say, it's going to be a hard week. There's going to be some criticism, and everybody should take it.
Well, the one thing while we're talking about Bruno Fernandes is that Bruno Fernandes had a lot of poor performances last season, but what got him over the line with a lot of fans was his work rate and his energy levels. We're not seeing that in the last 2 games. No. You know what I mean? He seems to be going back to his old fucking habits of trying to play balls with the outside of his foot and giving it away and flicks and this shite rather than actually taking care of the ball. You know what I mean? Let me go through some of the comments here because I know people are throwing in comments. Box says, how can Eddie Howe get a bunch of misfits playing well and fluid and dominating? Brighton lose all of their star players and De Zerbi has a team beating Wolves with ease. Ten Hag, ? Anyone want to have a go at that?
My question is subs today. I mean, is he too regimented? As Chris says, everyone gets into their position. That's it. He seems to. It's progression, possession football. Are people afraid to take the chance? Is he too structured? And is that stifling certain players? I mean, you could. I even said it in the chat. You can pick out when he's going to make the subs. It's always going to be in the 60th minute or 60th minute plus. He's never going to make a change. Well, not never, but very rarely he'll make a change before that. And you know who's going to bring on, in what order they're going to come on, and what the tactics is going to be once they come on.
Yeah,
It might be too obvious to read.
I mean, we have no difference makers.
Box follows up on that. I don't want you to be right, but I think you could be onto something. One purple patch last season fooled everyone, or was it a purple patch? I mean, you deserve where you get. You deserve what you get at the end of the season. Top 4 is top 4. I think over a 38 game period. But I kind of get what he's saying.
Can you have a purple patch over a whole season though? Which is what we had last year.
We grinded it out, and the problem is last season was a grind. We all know that, and it's and this season looks to be the same. It's just they haven't. Maybe they need to have another running session like they did last season after the Brentford game. But it's like no one's awake. Everybody's asleep at the wheel right now. And like Oshin said, 60th minute, we're going to bring on subs. But the problem is name one sub that we have on our bench that's going to make a difference. Last year, it was Garnacho was the sub that came on to make the difference. Now he's on the pitch, not making a difference. And I think maybe we need to go back and maybe he's not ready to start quite yet, like every game, because you need to have a spark plug on the bench, and we don't have one right now.
Well, I did mention it in, say, even before preseason, that I thought we would go for a winger, because me personally, maybe I was just thinking about it in my own head, but I was thinking we were quite light on the wing. You know what I mean? Because, like, okay, Antony had his first season, and you would give a player his time and space to improve and stuff like that. Sancho needed 3 months off. Marcus Rashford is he a winger? I suppose he probably is, but he's not the traditional style of a winger. You're talking about Garnacho then hanging your hat on an 18-year-old. I think we're very light on the wing.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, we have injuries. I mean, I thought the plan was to have Ahmed Diallo on the bench, and he's hurt, unfortunately.
I mean, that guy is coming from the Championship. All respect to him. He has had a good season last year in the Championship. But in a game like that today, where it's helter-skelter, pressure is on, is he going to come off the bench and make the difference?
I don't think so, but I mean, that was just the plan. I mean, even when Rashford plays on the wing, like, the one guy I like for Spurs is Kulusevski, because he drives the ball down to the end line and brings the ball across.
Yeah.
He's what we need. We need someone that's going to drive the ball down, shoot the ball across. Hopefully, their first goal, it wasn't a clean goal, but he drove the ball across, deflection. Sarr scores it, off the deflection. We don't ever do that. Even with Rashford on the wing, he doesn't ever do that. And and I don't understand it. It's every time we get the ball, our wingers go like this and they go in, and it's just like there's no creativity, and it drives me nuts. Like Aaron
makes a good point here, and I did want to bring it up myself, and I'm glad he put the comment in, because I was listening to Gary Neville when he said it. He said, I think Gary Neville hit the nail on the head, to be honest. McTominay isn't good enough to play for Man United, but at one down, if he comes on alongside Casemiro, it does close the door. Okay, the second goal is a joke, but I think what Gary Neville also said, and I'd like to get your opinions on this, I'll go with you, Ben, is that Gary Neville basically said that Ten Hag potentially leaving McTominay on the bench when you could bring him on and, throw in a few tackles and, maybe try and get hold of the midfield again. He's saying, no, he's not good enough. I need backing here. I need more players. And maybe leaving him on the bench, is that a kind of a way of Ten Hag going to the hierarchy, going, fucking help me here?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Look, that's what happened last season, weren't it? First 2 games. Look who we bought in. Transfer straight away. All money was magically there. So the money's there. We know the money's there.
But is it going to be panic buying again, though? That's the worry.
People will say it's panic buying, but obviously Ten Hag's got a list of players.
Yeah.
How long's he been saying we need to sell to buy? So he knows who he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, Amrabat's just waiting for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a player that, 4 and above McMuffin, and can come on and regain control of the midfield. And then, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be very skeptical at this moment. I'll give it a couple more games, but I don't think Bruno and Mount can play together. I'm sorry. I don't see it. Like, I haven't seen one moment of brilliance or captivating moment that those two link up together. Like, I mean, I'll give it a little bit of time, but I'll say it. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to play together.
Yeah.
I don't see what the two of them together, it doesn't strike fear in anything.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Let me go through some of the comments here. Aaron says, I agree with Chris. I don't believe Garnacho is ready to play 90 minutes week in, week out. He was great as an impact sub last season, and when the fullbacks are tired, his fresh legs cause problems. Liam says, United are too unpredictable. I think you probably mean predictable there. Honestly, is any Man United fan confident going into any game? United at home to Luton, for an example. No United fan is convinced we are winning that game. Now, as well, if you look at our terrible record against the so-called top 9 or 8, continues, because, obviously last season, I think Spurs were the only team that we actually got a point off of, so... Party Pooper, Adam says, did we do well last season, though, or did every team around us do bad? I was worried towards the end of last season that Liverpool would take top 4 from us. Somehow we managed to scrape it. Oshin, does he have a point?
Can't disagree with him. I mean, I can't see Liverpool having as bad a season as last year. Chelsea are after buying half the world, so they're going to come again. You're going to have Spurs, who I was skeptical about bringing in Angie, but he's not has done too bad in the first 2 games he had.
I'm going to have to listen to fucking Ricey on this podcast now.
I may not even tune in for the podcast on that one because I don't even want to hear about it.
But just to finish off the point, they've all strengthened. We bought in Mount, who Chelsea didn't want and got rid of. Is there a reason there? I agree with Chris. I can't see him playing with Bruno. They're two similar players. We haven't bought the Mount who was playing under Tuchel a few years ago. We bought a shadow of that player. The only bright spark for me in the preseason so far has been Onana. He came in, and to say that about Man United, that the best thing we have going forward for so far is a goalkeeper, is shocking.
Yeah. Talk to me about Antony, lads. I think Antony is going to be this year's Sancho.
I think he goes to the bench.
100%.
I'd rather see Palestri out there. Give him a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, give him a shot. I mean, Anthony's not. I mean, I'm an Antony fan, but at the same time, put him. I mean, at this point, I think against Forest, if we don't start with Rashford on the left, even if you want to put Anthony Martial in the middle, and then you either Palestri or Sancho on the right. I mean, we can't go again with Garnacho and Anthony and Rashford up the middle. It's created nothing. And granted, Rashford missed a header, Bruno missed a header. Okay, fine, but we really don't do anything with it. I think everybody, they don't complement each other at all.
Yeah,
and it's painful.
Is this Anthony's last season in terms of, if he has a season like he did last season, do we sell him?
Did he have a bad season last year? What, they scored 9 goals for a new player coming to the league?
Yeah,
he's too easily found out. My thoughts on Antony are well known on this channel. I don't think we overpaid for him. I think he was someone Ten Hag wanted, and I don't think he suits the Premier League. I think he's too much of an inverted winger. I mean, going back even to another Dutch player from the Dutch league who came in, Arjen Robben, he could go inside or outside you.
Yeah,
Antony can't. I don't think the way he plays football so singularly, as in cutting in the whole time, suits the Premier League. I think this could be his last season if things don't shape up for him. And He might need the Sancho treatment, as I said in the chat, get
Yeah.
away for a few months. But he's the kind of player, he has this touch of arrogance about him that I don't think he'd accept that at the same time. You know?
He did, yeah, because didn't he go on strike with Ajax to get a move to United?
Yeah, but I mean, he did go on strike, but I think he goes to. I mean, if he doesn't start playing well, he goes to the bench, and if he doesn't play well anymore at the whole season, then I think Ten Hag will sell him and be done with him and wipe his hands and be like, okay, missed that one. But at the same time, you know, it's. I mean, we shouldn't be afraid to buy wingers to make competition. You know, I mean, I think the only player that you can say is pretty safe is Rashford because look at the season he had. Other than that, I think. But even now, he does like I am a firm believer, and I think Ben agrees with me on this. You don't misplace your players. Like
you play too strong.
Yeah, play Rashford on the left. That's where he's good at. And then if you want Garnacho on the field, put him on the right. Like, he's right-footed, so if you put him on the right, he's going to make his outside foot is going to be his strong foot, so he can put crosses in. But why do you miss? Like, you move players around, and it just ruins the good thing that you have. I don't like it. I mean,
I think the kind of the inability to play a left-footed player on the left-hand side and a right-footed player on the right-hand side annoys me, right?
Yes.
Because, okay, you've got wingers that cut inside, you know, and it gives you more of an opportunity to strike a goal or whatever it may be, okay? But if that's and this is not just at United, this is in football in general. If that's your logic, then why not play inverted fullbacks alongside them?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now, if you're talking about Antony getting to the end line or Garnacho getting to the end line, if Antony's on the left and Garnacho is on the right, our fullbacks do that all of the time anyway. So why not just get your wingers to do it and let your fullbacks underlap? Does that make sense, or am I talking through my hole?
I think we need to go. Our wingers need to go to the end line and start crossing, because when they cut in, you're just cramping the space. You're losing space. You're crowding everything. So even if you have Højlund playing 6'2" of them in the middle of the park, you're crowding them. You know, you need to go down and come in and get the ball into them. We don't ever do that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's annoying. It's like, okay, you're a winger, you should be able to do that. You know.
Aaron says, if Amrabat wasn't waiting for us, he would have signed for Liverpool maybe. That deal was shrugged off very quickly. He also says, I was excited to sign Mount, to be completely honest, but now I'm thinking maybe we should have looked at Maddison. Well, that's certainly easy to say after watching that performance, because Maddison, well, that's 2 games in a row now that Maddison has been really good. You know what I mean? Alf says Mason Mount is going to flop. Aaron also says Antony was shocking today. United's team over the years have been vital on the wingers, Bex, Ronaldo, Giggs, Valencia, all the way back to even Kanchelskis. Antony can't put the ball in like them lot. And Liam also says, why was Mount bought? A playmaker, a hard worker, a passer, ? He doesn't stand out strong at anything. Antony has no right foot. He knows he can't deliver crosses. Now, look, Mason Mount is in the first season category. Of course he is, you know, but I haven't been impressed with him yet. Pre-season or the first 2 games. Oisin, you were talking there about him, you know, does he be dropped or does he, I mean, where else can you use him?
I just never see where he fitted in, even when they were looking to buy him. I just didn't see what hole he was going to fill for us.
Yeah.
The thing I was saying today when Eriksen came on and they pushed Bruno out right, why not put Mount out there? Leave Bruno in the middle. Bruno is stronger in the center, and leave Mason Mount out. We said on Monday night he's going to be the link back to front. He's going to be the link between Casemiro and defense to front. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it in pre-season. I haven't seen the 2 games we've seen so far from United. And I go back even to June and July when we were looking at him, I thought it was a stupid buy. I don't see where he fits into the Ten Hag system. Okay, we all trust Ten Hag, but I just don't see where Mount fits in. There's better players out there, and we actually better players than him at the club, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I've looked at you have to compare Mount to with whoever. Like, who did Newcastle buy? Tonali. He's better.
Great signing.
Who did Liverpool buy? I watched him this morning. Soberschlei. He looks
fucking dive for the penalty as well, by the way.
Yeah, he looked good. I mean, you look at him and it's like, and then we got him. Like, it's just like we're way down on the list at that point. I don't even know if Mount makes the list of midfielders that anybody should have bought. It's just we pay. I mean, it's kind of shocking and it sucks and it just and you just kind of throw your hands up.
He didn't play last season, though, did he?
Sorry, Ben, say that again.
How much football did he play for Chelsea last season?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, if Chelsea wanted to keep him, they wouldn't have sold him to a rival. Why would they give him to United if they thought he was any good?
Yeah,
that's true. I agree. I mean, I thought it would be good. I thought he could be that number 8 and, link up play and everything like that, but it just doesn't. I can't see it. I don't. Yeah. After 2 games, it's, sometimes you can see and you can see flashes and you go, okay, well, this could work. They just got to get their timing and get everything sorted out and everything. But I haven't seen any flashes. Like Mount's, the only thing I see him do is he does track back and he does give some effort, but that's not good. I mean, what I'm
going to say here now is, and I know players on the pitch have to take responsibility, right? But the fucking Glazers, all right? No, fuck. Look at Ten Hag's priority at the start of the fucking transfer window. It was Harry Kane, right? Why didn't we get Harry Kane? Because we hadn't enough money to fucking buy him. You know what I mean? And don't give me this shite that Daniel Levy wouldn't sell him. If we offered him enough money, he would have sold him to us. I'm getting flustered now because I'm getting so fucking annoyed. Who else did we want? Who was our
Kim Min-jae was the centre-half option we were looking for.
Kim Min-jae.
Exactly. You know what I mean? These pricks just will not allow us to spend money. You know what I mean? A report came out during the week that if United had new owners in before the start of the transfer window, we would have had an extra £95 million sterling to spend. Because of that, remember I mentioned it a few weeks back, where the owners can soak up 90% of up to 100 million. We would have had, I think, 90 to 95 million worth extra to spend in the transfer window. I'm fucking sick to the neck of them. So I am. Every single one of them. I mean, I'm so fucking. I wish they would just fuck off out of the club and just let us get on with it. You know what I mean? Because, and I know players have to take responsibility. It was a terrible performance today, but you're just rudderless at the top. You know what I mean? How can the rest of it work?
And I agree.
Long term, I'm talking. You know what I mean? Now, Ten Hag can do, wonders like he did last season and get us into top 4 and win a trophy. It's only papering over the fucking cracks.
I'm going to throw in the fact that, Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh need to go too. Jack, and you did a great show on Greenwood, and I hate to bring his name up, but why was this even an option? I love him as a player. He was a great player, but he's a terrible person. And why was this? Why did we even bring him up? That's just not good. It's just not a good idea at all. And I'm and all of a sudden now he says, "Oh, well, we're going to backtrack and we're, maybe how did you think this was going to go? Really?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that had, like you said, why are we even talking about him during the week when we should be getting ready for the Spurs game?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Aaron makes a good point there as well. He's just after hearing Roy Keane said, I obviously have it on mute here, but he said Roy Keane just said they're overtraining. Looks like they don't have the energy.
Could be.
Yeah. I said it twice in the chat. It's the exact same time on Monday night. They just seemed to lack energy and there was no one there to to get them up. It was something about the 45th, 50th minute, they just went flat around the whole pitch, and there was no life in them at all.
But we've seen a lot last season as well, though, Oisín, haven't we? That we've either been really good in the first half or really good in the second half, and there's no.
We were very much a second half team last season. The first half always seemed to bypass us last season, and we seemed to have a bit of a fight in the second half. Whereas this season, we seem to have even with Wolves on Monday night, we were really good in the first quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, and then we just fell off.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Ben? What do you want to? What can we improve on? Well, there's a fucking lot we can improve on between now and the next game. But
that's like a dart throw kind of question.
What would you do?
I think you've just got to play to your strengths, like we said earlier. Rashford's got to go out on the left. If Martial plays up top, he plays up top.
Yeah, and just chance him getting injured again. If he gets injured, he gets injured.
He's playing in his position. Fair dues.
Yeah.
Chris, same as Antony. Antony could be a good impact sub.
Sorry?
Do you not reckon Antony could be a good impact sub? Garnacho, Antony on the bench. Sancho out on the right. Rashford on left.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because we didn't see that pretty much at all last season. Antony basically started every game he was available for.
You know what I mean? Last 20 minutes of a game, bring them both on, go and run them ragged.
Yeah, you could have a pint. Yeah. Chris, any what would you do between the next game?
I think we need to make wholesale changes, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think you got to put Casemiro with McMuffin right next to him and try to hold the midfield. And you know me, I don't like that at all. I don't want McMuffin anywhere near it. But if we don't have Amrabat or we don't, Mason Mount has to go to the bench. Rashford has to go to the left. Pick and choose who you want on the right. Sancho, Palestri, Antony needs to go to the bench. Let Martial go out there and play his 40 minutes and get hurt, and then we'll sub him off, and that's fine.
You're saying Rasmus Højlund could potentially be available?
That's what I heard, that they are saying that he could be available for at least a half of the Forest game, and then he could be available for the Arsenal game. That's what I read, but we'll see. I mean, whether he starts or he comes in at halftime or something like that, but I think we got to play to our strengths, and right now we're just discombobulated. Let McMuffin and Casemiro clog the midfield and let Bruno play in the center. And then if Bruno's not playing well, then pull him off and put Mount there, because they're basically the same player. So, we need to go back to basics. And how we won the league was Rashford was on the left, and we let him run at guys and get his confidence going. And I think that's going to be our best option at that point. And please open the wallet and buy some other players. I know that's what we need to do, but I don't think it's going to happen. But
Oisín, final thoughts.
Getting back to Ten Hag's predictability, he very rarely brings a player on who's just come back from injury. So I think it's telling tonight that Martial got some time. So I think he's going to start next game out. I think he will start with Martial, Rashford, and Sancho. He'll start with Martial, Rashford, and Antony, and he'll bring Sancho and Garnacho off the bench at some point. I agree. Take Mount out for the game and start McTominay and just build a secure base and start from there. Yeah. And then see. But McTominay is going to have to be replaced before the transfer window with someone who's a bit more reliable, a bit more United standard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all I can do is just repeat what you said. It's been a terribly disappointing day, terribly disappointing week, to be honest with you. From Monday to now, we've had a fucking shy performance and scraping 3 points against Wolves. We've had reports that the Glazers are going to stay. We've had reports that Mason Greenwood is potentially going to be coming back. Then we have today's bullshit fucking performance. So surely it can only go in one direction. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what happens. Lads, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it, as always. And to everybody for watching as well, please do hit the like and subscribe button. If you want to become an official member of the YouTube channel and come on the screen like the boys, please check out the link in the description as well. I want to get more people on, and let's start shouting and roaring at each other, because we'll have it's good to get more opinions on. You know what I mean? But not that I don't respect your opinions or anything like that, because you're the OGs.
this was a good idea, there, Jack. I mean, it's
yeah. Well, I'm always open to suggestions as well because look, you're the official member, so you get to choose what you want. You know what I mean?
we get to choose. Wait, we get to.
No, I didn't say that. Reverse.
He did.
Everybody heard it. We can move the jersey in the center and flip it around.
We'll flip that. We'll flip that.
I'll show everybody. Look, there we go now. Look, thanks to Chris for the jersey. You know what I mean? It will not be getting worn at Old Trafford. I can tell
Come
you that.
on.
It will be getting framed and put into the UCC museum though someday. But no, guys, look, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. To everyone else, we'll be back on Monday. I'm sure Ricey will be absolutely buzzing to do a podcast on Monday. So we'll more than likely be back with the podcast Monday night, and we'll be back with our regular transfer talk shows daily then as well. And let's hope we've got some fucking decent transfer news to talk about because by God do we need it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. I'll catch you Monday night. Take it easy.